And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Ray Shasho Show, brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency. Each week, Ray spotlights in-depth interviews with legendary and up-and-coming authors and music artists. Ray also features the movers and the shakers of the music and publishing industries and suggests important methods for getting the most out of your public relations and marketing needs. Please welcome music journalist, author, and entrepreneur, Ray Shasho.
Hello, once again, everyone. I'm Ray Shasho, and welcome to the show where we interview legendary and up-and-coming music artists and authors, brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency. Call us today at 941-877-1552 or email us at publicityworksagency.com. Remember, we shine only when we make you shine. Eddie Turner has done just about everything. A guitarist since age 12, he honed his skills alongside San Francisco's legendary Tracy Nelson and Mother Earth in the 70s, and Denver's hard-hitting Zephyr in the 80s, before becoming a founding member of the Otis Taylor Band in the 90s, and then earning a prestigious Blues Music Award nomination for his own solo career in the mid-2000s. The Denver-based guitarist, singer, and band leader has toured the world, garnering countless fans and an outpouring of critical acclaim in the process. But Naked in Your Face marks a first for Turner, who has never before released an in-concert recording. The title tells you all you need to know. No Shrinking Violet of a live album. This varied, vibrant set finds the musician at his most stylistically audacious, crossing boundaries with the same brazen confidence he's shown throughout his career. Recorded last August at the Blues Can in Calgary, Alberta, during a tour of Canada and the western United States. The album features Turner in a power trio format. Joining him are bassist Anna Lisa Hughes, a fellow Denver resident who sings lead on several cuts here, including covers of classics such as Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood and Buried Alive in the Blues, as well as her original composition Mistreated, and drummer Kelly Kruse, and an in-demand sideman in Canada who also plays guitar with Calgary's Adele and the Krusers. I still get emails saying that one of the best bands I've ever seen. When are you going to tour again? Says Turner. And I love the way Anna Lisa's voice and mine meshed together. The three of us came together and threw all of our influences into a pot, ending up with something that's completely different. I wanted to record songs that without this particular band I probably never do again. Fitting for a man who grew up outside of Chicago watching iconic blues figures such as Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf ply their trade, but also seeing acts like Jimi Hendrix and Cream take the music to new, more rock-influenced directions. Turner has developed a sound that's informed by tradition, yet adventurous enough to be limited by it. As the man himself puts it, if you want to be a purist, be one not because you started there and stopped there. Be one because you went everywhere else and decided to come back, because no music is truly pure. Everything has a little dirt in it. The 2011 Blues Blast nominee, Best Contemporary Blues CD, 2006 BMA, Best New Artist nominee, and the 10th Annual Independent Music Awards nominee for Best Blues Song. If anybody ever went down to the crossroads and let the devil tune his guitar, it was probably Eddie Turner. Man, you get chills every time the guy strikes a note. And the expressions he makes while he's talking out each lick leave one convinced he's channeling otherworldly, ancestral demigods. Please welcome to the Ray Shasho Show, blues guitarist Eddie Devil Boy Turner. Hello, Eddie.
Hey, Ray, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. You're on the road.
You were talking.
What was that?
Me? Was that me you were talking about?
No, that was this other blues guy, you know, that
okay.
has the same name as you.
Okay, because I'm going to go buy his CD. He sounds good.
Yeah, he sounds pretty good, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Where did you get the name Devil Boy? Where did that come from?
I got that from Otis Taylor. You know, because I was always getting in trouble while we were on tour. Nothing serious or anything, but
right.
It used to always bother him.
Right.
Yeah, but he has a low threshold anyway, so I never worry about it.
I tell you, you've learned from some of the best, haven't you?
I've tried. There's a lot of them out there that are just great. So
yeah.
I always try to learn something every day.
Well, your very latest CD, Naked in Your Face, which is your first live CD, LP, you know, there's nothing better than hearing the blues live. And you finally did it. It's with the Trouble Twins, recorded at Calgary's Blues Can. I guess you're pretty popular up in Canada, too, huh?
I guess so. I was real popular in Germany
and
Canada, and not so much in the United States.
Well, that's just pretty normal these days, I think.
I guess so.
I interviewed, Beth Hart.
Yes.
Beth. I mean, it took her a long time to even get noticed here. I mean, she was huge in Amsterdam, and that's where she kind of broke things. Amsterdam's a great place to play, by the way. They love the blues over there. Have you played there?
I have not played in Amsterdam, but I've played all through the Netherlands. So, I never quite got into Amsterdam. But, everywhere else I played, it was great. I had a wonderful time.
It's amazing, though, I mean, we have aficionados here like myself. We have the purists, that go way back. Of course, we're all older now. But it just seems like, European audiences, Japan's audiences, and, they still have a craving for that kind of music, probably a little bit more than we do here.
Oh, yeah, they really do. I mean, they're like really big guitar freaks over there.
Right.
So if you play loud and strong, they just love it, and they really do go nuts, and so it's really a lot of fun, and they're open for you to experiment around with your music on stage, which is really great. So if you want to take a left turn, they'll follow you along, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, they're good audiences. Even Richie Blackmore, he reformed another version of Rainbow, and he's playing mostly overseas, even though he lives in New York. So.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And,
wow.
And it's the same type of thing. I think he'd do very well here, but who knows? Maybe the audiences are, I guess you can count on them a little bit more over there. I mean, mainstream radio is horrible here in the United States. They just kind of ruined it. I wrote a book about it, as a matter of fact, how radio kind of killed the rock star.
Yeah.
I mean, they made the rock star and then they killed it.
Yeah, when they cut the songs down to 3 minutes on FM.
Right.
I remember when FM first came along, and it was just like, wow, this is wonderful. You can hear the entire Dark Side of the Moon, and there's not one commercial. It was powerful.
I went to broadcasting school, and the rule was no more than 3 spots, no more than 3 commercials in a row, because you'll lose your listener. And now it's ridiculous.
Oh, I know. It's commercial.
You forget what you were listening to,
Oh yeah, I know. It just drives you nuts, and you don't know where you are, and nobody seems to care. And when you finally hear a song that you really like, they fade it out. And
you notice they don't tell you what the song was anymore like they used to. They used to make a big deal announcing what it. They just.
You're supposed to, I think, remember what time it was that day, and then go to your computer, and then find that show and find that spot, and then they'll list the song. But by that time, I've forgotten. Too much effort.
I know. It's a different world out there today.
Yeah.
Well, a review from Cashbox from your latest album says the meat of the album are Turner's own composition, So Many Roads, Dangerous, Rise, and Secret. All clock in between 8 and 12 minutes, which give Turner plenty of room to improvise as he takes the melodies on a number of twists and turns. Live is the way Turner should be experienced. Naked in Your Face is a coming-out party for an underappreciated guitar genius, and you're invited. I think that's a pretty good review.
I never saw that one, so that's a great review. You know, when I put that CD out, my publicist went, "Oh, man, we got to find a song under 5 minutes." And I said, "I only have one." You know,
you only have one.
I only have one, but the CD sold really well. You know, I was really surprised.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of downloads, and actually a lot of people ordered the actual hard copy, which really kind of surprised me. But it's still selling, and I'm really happy with it because I only put records out like once every 3 to 5 years. Right. I'm a real underachiever when it comes to recording stuff. In fact, I'm doing one right now.
Good.
That is, it's going to be really cool because I'm doing it with Kenny. Mm-hmm. I started this in New York, and the engineer producer at that time, we were able to. I was so fortunate, and probably one of the main reasons I did it out there was because he was able to get this guy Neil Evans to play keyboards and drums, both. And Neil Evans plays with that band Soul Live.
Right.
And he also just did the new Jack White tour. So I'm really fortunate to have this guy on my next CD. Happy about that.
That's awesome. When do you expect that?
I don't know.
You're one of those guys, huh?
Yeah. You know.
Whatever.
We're back. Yeah. I brought those tracks back to Denver because I got tired of flying to New York. And we're going to finish them up out here with the guys, Kenny Kruse, overdubbing keyboards and bass, and then with the engineer Timmy Stroh,
right,
who's just a killer engineer.
Mm-hmm. So
it's going to be good. It's going to be really great, and it's
awesome.
It's going to be totally off the
wall. I'm looking forward to it. For my listening audience, part of Eddie's band is Kenny Passarelli, who was just on this show for our tribute. Kenny plays bass, vocals. He was in our Tommy Bolin tribute show. He was a member of Joe Walsh's Barnstorm with Joe Vitale,
absolutely,
who was also on our show. So that's a pretty good heavyweight to be in the band too.
Oh yeah, and then he toured with Steve Stills for 20 years.
He did.
You know? So he's Hall & Oates. You name it. Elton John.
Yep.
Kenny Passarelli is the real guy. I'm sure he told you, and if he didn't, I'm telling you now.
Yeah, about Elton John. Oh yeah, he had some good stories about that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Being on the tour and everything. Yeah. So, and is it David Brenowitz? Is he your current drummer?
Yeah, David Brenowitz is my current drummer right now.
Right.
Great little drummer. A little neurotic. No, not a little neurotic. Really neurotic.
In what
but
way?
He's a great drummer. You know, he's the kind of person that cannot not speak for 10 minutes. You know, he's got to constantly be talking.
Yeah.
You know, and we go on tour. I always look at him and say, "Not a word." We have to go.
That's funny.
We have to go 100 miles before you can speak,
That's
it just drives him nuts.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys like that.
So, but like I said, he's a great drummer. So, and he's a really nice guy. So you just kind of deal with it. He's got one little problem, and I can deal with that.
Too much coffee, maybe?
He doesn't drink coffee.
No, he's just naturally that way.
Yeah, he's just a happy guy.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah. He could be morose, you know. So I guess I'll take the happy guy as opposed to the other one.
Oh yeah, anytime. Well, you're currently on a little tour here. You just finished up in Omaha, right? On
Yeah,
June
just
10th.
finished up in Omaha.
Yep. You're coming up on Broomfield, Colorado, on the 20th at the waterfront. Yep.
Yep.
And let's see, June 23rd, you'll be in Denver, Westworld Music Showcase.
Yes.
Then you go to Texas on July 6th at Midland, Texas, for a Tall City Blues Fest.
Exactly.
July 7th, Emmett's Place in Houston. I want to plug in all your dates here. July 8th,
perfect.
House of Fifi Dubois, I guess, in San...
Fifi Dubois in San Angelo, Texas.
Wow.
Great little town. It's just about 2 streets long.
Really?
But they have really great music, and great musicians always pass through there. So it's a blast.
Cool.
You know, and then we fly home for a couple of days.
Right.
And then we fly down to Mississippi.
Right, on the 13th.
I want to say Friday the 13th, I think it is.
Yeah.
Do a show, and then hang out, and then drive to Florida.
You'll be
where
in
the sun
Florida.
shines every day.
Yes, sir. You're going to be in Englewood, which is not too far from me, on the 19th. On Dearborn. Englewood's on Dearborn. Yep, at Englewood. And you'll be in Fort Myers, not too far away from there. Buckingham Blues Bar in Fort Myers. And again in Florida on the 21st at Arts Garage in Delray Beach. So that's cool. Then you'll be back in Colorado. Great. Yep.
And then I'm going to go to the beach for 2 days.
Good. I hope you enjoy Florida while you're here.
Oh, yeah. I always like Florida. I've always liked Florida. It's nice. It's completely different than Colorado.
Complete opposite.
Exactly. The temperature may be the same, but it's, for some reason, 95 degrees in Florida is much hotter than 95 degrees in Colorado. That's my dog.
Is that your dog? Yeah. I get that a lot.
Yeah, she likes to bark at the neighbors as they walk by. That's her thing.
You're a lot like me,
calm
man.
Down.
Your mom was Cuban, right? And your dad was American?
Yes.
Exactly like me. We're the
hey,
same.
You know, I always wondered, what was my dad doing in Havana? You know?
Right. Yep.
You know, what was he doing down there? Because he never talked about it.
Really?
And I said, well, Dad, why did you go to, Havana? And he would just kind of go, bruh, 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 bruh. And that's the end. And that was the end of the conversation. You know what I mean?
My dad used to work at a retail store in Miami, and
okay.
He got a lot of Cubans. That's before Fidel,
right?
And he would have to go to Cuba to collect bounced checks. So he would knock on doors in Cuba and fly to Cuba and try to collect. And he would. He'd always collect the money that checks bounced. And then he met my mom in Miami. My mom was working at a retail store too, so that's how they met. Yep.
Funny, isn't it? Funny how that works.
Yeah. Did you speak Spanish fluently?
Un poco.
Oh, you see, like me. You probably fight as a kid. We should be speaking fluent Spanish. There's no excuse.
No, probably like you, I spent half the time trying to teach my mom how to speak English. So you don't get too much of the Spanish side of it. And all of her sisters and a couple of her brothers were in the United States too, and they were terrible English speakers, so they'd always ask me, how do you say this? So I can understand them when people start speaking Cuban Spanish. I understand what they're saying. I just can't reciprocate.
Right. Oh, I can fake it. Oye, mi chico.
Yeah.
It's easy to talk to Cuban lingo, Oye, carajo.
Yeah. See.
I was raised with my abuela in the house. I had all my aunts, my tias, and drinking a lot of cafecito in the house.
Oh yeah.
I had a roommate later on that was Cuban. He owns a jewelry store in Tampa. You'd love him, Ignacio Prieto.
Oh.
That was my roommate. He came from Cuba. I guess when he was little. I think it was during Castro when he came over here.
Okay.
Yeah, but he did really, really well. You sound like him, as a matter of fact. You sound like a lot like him. Funny.
A lot of people say I have this odd accent, and I just say, hey, that's just how I grew up.
Yeah, yeah. You sound like you should be from Tampa, actually. Or Ybor City here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Who knows? Maybe I was there in a former life.
I think so. Your parents wanted you to become a doctor, right?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Join the family line of doctors, lawyers, and teachers. And I was always was squeamish of blood. Used to drive me nuts to see it when it's not inside the body. So
yeah.
I wasn't doing too well going that way.
Yeah. And you graduated from University of Colorado?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were lucky
because in the 70s.
And Colorado had a great music scene, man, especially in Boulder. That's where all you guys came from,
Oh yeah, that was one of the when I was in high school, I saw Zephyr come through Chicago, and I went to the concert and I watched that band and I said, I'm going to join that band.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons why I went to the University of Colorado, and I did. And that was
amazing.
Really great. I was really happy because they were a bluesy hard rock band, and there really weren't too many of those bands back then.
Right.
Especially in Colorado, where I had to learn how to play country rock, country, and western to get gigs most of the time here in Colorado.
Huh.
So I used to be really good at that.
Yeah. What kind of style did you use? Did you use the Chet Atkins method? Or?
Oh, no, I was more along the lines of Waylon Jennings type of sound.
Right.
The West Coast sound. Now I can't think of the guy's name. Buck Owens and the Buckaroos.
Oh, yeah. Buck Owens.
That type of
great.
stuff.
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all. I always thought that was really cool. And as opposed to the really smooth Nashville Chet Atkins sound.
Who were some of your early influences and that made you pick up the guitar?
Well, just like every stupid kid, the Beatles.
The Beatles, I know. Everybody says that.
Yeah, it's the Beatles. And then I really didn't like the Beatles that much. They were, everybody liked them, and I was like, yeah, it's cool. And then came along the Rolling Stones.
Right.
All right, and I went, I get that.
Right.
That's rock and roll.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have that sugar sweet sound to it. It's like in your face. And then once you do that, you fall down that rabbit hole of, okay, where did this song come from? And even though I only lived 20 minutes to an hour from some of these clubs in Chicago, I just heard about blues, and what I heard wasn't that great. It was that folky kind of blues.
Right.
It wasn't my thing. I mean, a guitar is supposed to have an amplifier at the other end. That's a real guitar.
Yep.
You plug it in, it makes all this noise, and you're just as happy as can be.
Yeah.
So then I used to go down to the South Side, and I used to always see one of my favorite bands was, Junior Wells and Buddy Guy. I love that duo.
Love Buddy Guy.
Yeah. And then for slide, I loved Hound Dog Taylor. I mean, he was just the greatest.
Yeah.
And just check. So I used to go down there all the time and just study those guys and listen and sneak into clubs. And my uncle was a big jazzer, so he used to always go, the Beatles, those guys suck, And he turned me on to people like George Benson and that whole CTI scene. And so that's where some of my styles come from, you know, West Montgomery, you know,
Yep.
all that. I had a really well-rounded musical listening kind of learning center, because and I just realized that there's just so much great music, and nobody talks to one another. So unbeknownst to me, I was just learning all those styles and then just putting them together, because that just made sense to me.
Yeah. You played a little with Tommy, didn't you? With Tommy Bolin?
You know, I never played with Tommy,
Right.
but I knew Tommy, and I would hang out with him and some of his friends, the Ulibarri sisters,
Right.
and just hang out in Boulder. One of my big teachers he was a person that took Tommy's place in Zephyr first,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a guy by the name of Jock Bartley.
I just interviewed Jock.
Oh, he's a great guy. He was my teacher
Yeah.
for a year or so.
He's a good
And
guy.
of course, you know, he played with Firefall, went on
Yep.
to do that, and
Yep.
all those country rock things.
Yep.
And then I was the one that joined after he left.
Mm-hmm.
I joined Zephyr, and then recorded their last album. I think they only recorded 4 records, as I recall.
They're a good
One with
band.
me, one with Jock, and 2 with Tommy.
Yeah. Really good band. Something
it
I
was
heard.
Wonderful.
Something I heard of you and Tommy. Something to do with cartoons or something. Comic books or
Cartoons?
comic books or something. You guys traded or did something with books or something. I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
You shared some kind of interest there. I forgot.
I was a big comic book kind of guy back then.
Okay, you and Tommy kind of talked about comic books.
We might have.
Okay.
You know, I'm the guy that was always the mysterious person in Boulder. People just didn't know who I was and what I was doing, but I was always kind of like showing up, you know. And I'd get invited by someone. Hey, Eddie, come on down to this thing. I wouldn't know anybody except for the person that invited me.
Right.
So, being relatively shy back then,
Yeah.
I just kept my mouth shut. So I've heard a lot of interesting stories about me that I know are not true. Okay, and then you know what is true has been changed so much that I wouldn't recognize it anyway. So
that happens a lot.
even to this day, I keep my mouth shut.
So, something you did, which I did. I was in broadcasting school in Fort Lauderdale back in '79, and we had a lot of fun with punk bands, and we wrote a lot of punk songs because it was big back then. And you did the Immortal Night Flames, which was a punk band based on James Brown and his backup band, the Flames, which I thought was an incredible idea. You know?
Yeah, it was great. That was the band. I wrote songs for that band, and that was the band that the vice president of Planet Records happened to be at a party, was listening to me, and said, "Hey, not bad songs. Did you write those?" I said, "Yeah, I wrote them all." And he said, "Oh, okay." And then about a year later, I get a phone call. We'd like you to come out to L.A. We've got a project, the Pointer Sisters. We want you to write some songs.
Right.
And I went, okay, I'll go out there and do that. So I spent like 8 months up in I guess the Laurel Canyon, and I was living the rock and roll lifestyle. It was just like, wow, they're paying me to write songs, and I wrote every day. And the Pointer Sisters actually recorded one of my songs, and but it never got released. So,
oh man.
Yeah, that's what I said. And then shortly thereafter, they said, your services are no longer used, Mr. Turner. Thank you very much.
Jeez. What happened to that song?
You know, I have no idea.
Really?
I mean, I don't even know what happened to Planet Records.
Huh.
You know, they're long gone. But
did you sell that music to them? They paid for it or what? I mean,
no, I gave them licensing to use it.
Right.
Okay, I didn't sell the song, so I still own the song.
Okay.
And I keep thinking that I'm going to record it myself. I have the rough demo that I did before I went to California, and so I know what the lyrics are. 'Cause otherwise, I would have forgotten that and all the changes in the melody.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have that. And so one day I'm just going to record that, just because I want to.
Yeah, I like to hear it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really fun. It was really fun.
Otis was in Zephyr, but you actually knew Otis a long time ago, right? When you were in your early teens or something?
Yeah. My babysitter, when I was a kid, moved to Colorado. And so when I was in high school, my freshman year,
right.
I was in art class.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just admit it. I was an art student. And I did a group of designs.
Right.
And my teacher submitted them to it was a contest by the Container Corporation, the best graphic designers in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't think much of it, and then she called me into the office one day and says, "Hey, just want you to know, you won. You're one of the 20 students that gets to go." And I was like, "Wow, that's really cool." So we were going to Aspen, Colorado. So I called my ex-babysitter up, and I said, "Hi, I'm coming to Colorado. Can I hang out at your house for a couple of days before I do that?" And she says, "Oh, sure." So they left, went somewhere, for the day, and I was at the house, and there's a knock on the door. And so I get up, go to the door. This is when I still would answer the door without looking out the window first. It could be a Jehovah's Witness or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be something weird out that door. And there's this guy. There's this black guy, and there are not too many black people in Colorado. Okay. And so I'm like saying to myself, "Who the hell is this?" So I open the door, and the guy starts mumbling, and I'm going, "What? What did you say?" And finally he says, "Well, is are Ben and Eve home?" I said, "No, they're not home." And he says, "Well, you might want to come in and wait for it." I went, "No, I don't know you. No, you can't come in the house."
That's funny.
So we got off to a bad start. Otis and I. But hey, whatever.
That's funny. At one time I was working. I was in the banking industry, and I'm originally from D.C., from the D.C. area, from up north. And then I came down here. When I first came down here, we had one black employee she was an investment lady, and she came up to me when she first came down. She says, "Ray, we're all the black people down here in Florida also."
Yeah.
I just shrugged my shoulders. I don't know, man. I'm from D.C. I got plenty up there.
They're everywhere, And your listeners should know that I'm a black guy.
Hey, you're Cubano, man.
Yeah, hey, a Cubano black guy.
Hey, Cubano black guy.
Which is even cooler.
It's even cooler. That's right. Hey, Celia Cruz, man.
Yeah. Play the blues in the United States, and you can barely speak Spanish.
That's right.
Go figure.
Go figure. And we all got some black in us. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, we do. We all do.
My Cuban roots, definitely, and actually, my father's family was from Syria, so I got some black blood in me for sure.
Oh yeah, no question about it.
No question.
No question about it.
That's right.
And we all have that same gene. Oh, at least the women do. All the women have the same gene out of Africa. So, hey.
That's right. I got to ask you, one person that was very underrated, who had an incredible voice, was Candy Gibbons. Where were you when Candy passed away?
God, we were both in the same town. She was back in Boulder when she passed away, and we were still. Zephyr was kaput at that point,
right?
And but we were all still off and on playing with the band called the Fornicators, which was R&B, early rock tribute band. We just did nothing but covers.
Right.
And, you know, the Motown Review, Sam and Dave Review, we did the Supremes, we did Elvis, you know. It was great. It was the original Jack Black and the Jack Mack and the Heart Attack.
Right.
Because those guys, what's his name, Max, saw the Fornicators and went, I can make this work in L.A. And he took that idea and went to L.A. and started Jack Mack. So, but it was, you know, we had, you know, the horn section. We did it to the T. And so she was still there. And then you know, her boyfriend, who we all hated, you know, they were in a hot tub, and she just slipped in and died.
That's amazing, isn't it? In a hot tub.
Yeah,
wow.
It was like the worst thing that I thought that could ever happen, because we were talking about putting Zephyr back together again. And
right.
That was it.
What a loss, man. She was what
terrible.
A singer. Yeah. She
was probably one of the best singers. Why she wasn't as large as no, I can't think of her name. I get sometimers a lot. Janis Joplin, I'll never know. Because I, you know, she would sit around the studio and sing songs like Skylark and whatever, not just these full things, but these beautiful standards. And she could sing them without any accompaniment. And they were just perfect. I mean, one of the best women singers, one of the best singers, screw the fact of the gender, one of the best singers I ever heard in my life.
Yeah. And no auto-tune.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There's a YouTube video people need to go on. It's very rare, featuring, I think it was on the Barry Richards show. I remember Barry would also do announce concerts when I used to go to concerts in D.C. People used to throw shit at him every time he used to announce a band. But Candy's on there singing St. James Infirmary.
She did a great job. We did that
with
song.
Tommy Bolin.
Beautiful.
And it's fantastic. It's a really cool tune.
Yeah, exactly. No, that was, she was, like I said, I saw that band and decided I was going to join it if it killed me.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, changed my life.
Right.
You know, had to sing with that, I had to perform with that woman. And it was just amazing. Just amazing.
You know, I like to see you and Beth Hart together do collaborations. You know, she's collaborated with a lot of blues guitarists. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That would really be cool. We were doing ended up doing the show Rock Palast in Germany, which is their big. It's like Don Kirshner's rock concert.
I watch that. Sure.
And so I did the show, and she was there the week before, and I went,
"Oh, cool!
That's Hart. I know this name." Mm-hmm. And so I did some more research, and then I heard her sing, and I was like blown away. But yeah, she was really good. But she was in what was it? What town was it? Bonn, Germany. The week before that, I got there with my band.
Yeah.
In fact, those are some of the best videos I have. They're old, but Kenny's in it playing keyboard.
Yep.
I had 2 keyboard players. This is my first band. I thought I was going to go to the top of the charts, you know, within minutes. Right. So I had a great band. I had a great drummer. Mm-hmm. My best friend played bass. Kenny Passarelli, and can't think of the other keyboard player's name. And it was just the smokingest band I ever had. I mean, it was great. It was just, we were totally out to lunch. Right. I mean, we would just start the song, and nobody knew what was going to happen until it was over.
Yeah.
Love that.
My favorite album that you're on with Otis is Respect the Dead.
Right.
Love that album. And you were mentioning, you know, I mean, blues guitar, you know, you got to have an amplifier, not the folk way and all that. But he does a 10 Million Slaves. That's a banjo, right? Doesn't he play banjo with that? Is that him or you?
Well, that's him.
That's
him.
It
was an electric banjo.
Right. But it's great. I mean, it's really, I never heard that before. A banjo,
Yeah.
you know, huh?
No, it was really cool. I mean, it was really a great band because we all had, we all played the drums. You know, James Brown said everybody plays drums. Well, in that band, it was true. It was true because there are certain things that I could do that we say. I'm the hi-hat, the snare, Kenny's the kick drum and the bass, and Otis just finds his spot somewhere in the middle. You know, and but you always had to think of it as very percussive parts because people would walk up to us and not realize that we didn't have a drummer. You know, it was the weirdest thing.
Huh.
And of course, we played loud.
Right.
Yeah, we spent like a week playing like acoustics. I had a big L5 guitar, and we thought, well, it's gonna be bluesy. Yeah, we're gonna do that bluesy thing. No. Within minutes, it's like, where's my Marshall?
So much you can take.
Right, exactly. Now, I was using a little 10-watt amp, you know, and it was just like not working for me, you know.
Yeah.
It was just like, I'm not really happy here, so either we're going to turn it up or I'm going to get out, one of the two.
Yeah.
So Kenny begged me to stay and said,
right,
we're going to turn it up, Ed, and I went, great. And from that point, boom, the minute it got loud, we were off to the races. You know, next thing we know, we're touring Europe and just having a gas.
Yeah. Yeah, good album, you know.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah. Some of my favorite tunes on that, you know, love 10 Million Slaves, but Baby So and Shaker Wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was Kenny. Kenny was the guy that put all that stuff together.
Yeah.
You know, he was the one that arranged it, made sure that every part was in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he made just a basic idea into a song.
Mm-hmm.
And Kenny's like, as far as I'm concerned, he's the best unknown producer because he's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, he really knows how to take garbage.
I agree.
And
with
turn it into diamonds.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to embarrass you a little bit. I want to talk about Miracles and Demons, which was your album that was released, I think, back in, was it 2010, somewhere around there?
Yeah, 2010.
I gave you 5 stars. That is an incredible album. I love that album. And everybody needs to go out and buy Miracles and Demons. Number one, the name is so cool. How'd you come up with Miracles and Demons?
I was in Paris.
Right.
And, well, actually, before I got to Paris, I knew this guy in Rhode Island, okay? Mm-hmm. And he always had the best silver jewelry. I mean, it was just amazing. It was really cool. Right. It looked ancient. So I said, where did you get those pieces? Well, first I tried to talk him out of it. That was the first thing I did. And then I offered him money. And then it was like, okay, so where did you get it? Okay. And he says, well, I got it at this place in Paris. And he said it's called Miracles and Demons. So I think it's Miraculous Demon. And 54 Rue Jacob. I even remember the address. And so we had a couple days off, and I just ran down to the store, and I was looking at it, and I bought like 5 or 6 pieces of jewelry there. But I always thought, what a great name for a record. Or what a just a great name for a store, let alone a record. I hadn't even gotten that far in my thinking yet. And that's where it came from. I mean, it's a real place.
I tell you, man, this album, and again, you sound a lot on this track like Jimi Hendrix, your voice.
Thank you.
Did anybody tell you that?
Stephen Stills told me that.
Really?
Yeah, and he would know.
I've never heard anybody else sound like Hendrix, before. Voice-wise, everybody can imitate his guitar a little bit, you know what I mean? But not his voice. But you're natural at it. And what I understand is you didn't want to be in the limelight. You didn't want to be like a front man for a long time.
No, I hated it. I still hate it.
You still hate it.
It's not
but you belong there.
If I had the right lead singer, I feel that I would be so much better during live shows.
I don't know. I like your voice a lot. I'd rather have your voice than have a chick in there, you know?
Right. Okay. You know, I get that. But I always thought, and I still do, that I'm a crummy singer.
I don't think so. I really don't.
So, you know, and I still can't hear. A lot of people have said, yeah, you sound like Hendrix. And I still can't hear it.
Huh.
You know, I just sound like me just trying to get through the song.
Well, Miracles
You know.
and Demons, that sounds like a Hendrix tune all the way. I mean, it sounds like, you know, I could see Jimi Hendrix recording Miracles and Demons.
Thank you. That's a huge compliment.
I mean, it's
That's
true.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always loved that song. It's just, you know, just
great
sitting
song.
at home and came up with this riff.
Yep.
And that's all I had was the riff. And so we were in the studio, and I said to Kenny, Kenny, what do you think of this? And he goes, well, look at you. What are you going to do with it? I said, I don't know. And so he says, well, let's just record it, and we'll see what happens. And so we just recorded that one part for like 8-9 minutes. And we started adding things on it and playing slide guitar and just doing all these really bizarre things. Because Kenny and Timmy would go, well, hey, let's try this. And I go, okay. You know. And then Kenny says, do you have any lyrics? And I said, no, I don't. And so the lyrics were all, you know, what do you call that? When you just start speaking in tongues. I had a few cocktails. Not a few. I had a lot of cocktails. And all of a sudden, I just started talking, and Tim was recording everything, you know, and going, wow, that's really cool. What did you say there? I said, I don't know. What are we going to call this song? I said, I don't know. And then I went, let's call it Miracles and Demons, because that's truly what this song is.
Yeah.
And then Timmy said, well, you know, it sounds too long, so let's just cut it in half. So that's how it became part 1 and part 2.
Part 1 and
part
two,
1
yeah.
is kind of acoustic,
Yep.
and part 2 is just full-blown electric, you know, just like as you know, with a little 10-watt amplifier on 10.
Really?
So it really just explodes. Little tiny amps make the best distorted guitars in recording. So that's what we did.
Oh,
and then when we were done with it,
track.
Kenny's adding keyboards and, you know, synthesizer parts, and it was a labor of love. And then all of a sudden we had 2 great songs.
Best tracks on the album. I mean, I liked every track. I got to ask, were you kind of loaded when you did Monkey See, Monkey Do?
Yeah, I was wasn't really loaded, but you know, it was one of those things. You know, a lot of the inspiration from the album actually came from Fleetwood Mac, Then Play On.
Really?
Which is one of my favorite records.
Yep.
In the world. Since the day it came out, it's always in the top 10.
Just a great Booty Bumpin'. That's another favorite of mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
First track on the album.
Yeah. Well, you know, it was trying to be bluesy without doing your standard blues progressions. And that's always been a theme with me. Is be bluesy, make people think it's a blues progression.
Right.
But if someone tries to put it together and learn it, they quickly realize this is not a blues progression at all. You know? And so I really like that. I liked every song on that record.
It's a great album. It really is.
Yeah.
It's something you can listen to over and over again, you know, while you're driving down the road. And you know, it's just an enjoyable album.
Yeah.
I like because you sound like Hendrix. You know, I love it because your voice sounds like Hendrix. I think it's, you know, some of the lyrics are cool, too, what you do with them. You know, like, My Tears Are Falling from the Sky, you know. From Say. You know, love that. Blues Fall Down Like Rain, Fall Down with Pain, you know. I mean, it's awesome.
Well, it's just trying to be, moderately cynical, but telling a true story.
Yep.
That's the best way. I mean, everyone does a love song. I do a love song where the lovers die.
Right. That's funny. What was Ride a Painted Pony about?
I was copping Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where that chug-a-lug comes from.
Huh.
I'm really glad when you say, what was that about? And then I tell you a major artist, and I can see the question mark on your face going, yeah, now that I think about it, he's right. Creedence. I never thought about that. I don't know. It was one of those things. I mean, most of the time when I record songs, because I'm not a good singer, lyrics are the last thing that I do. I have a melody and everything, but no lyrics. And so usually the song's recorded and Kenny goes, okay, let's sing it. And I will sit down right there and write all the lyrics to the song.
Just like that.
Right then at the last minute. And then we'll make some changes, but pretty much everything. This new record is the first record I've ever done where the lyrics are done.
Really?
They're done before I record it. But usually, every record, it's always, the last thing, the last minute. They go, ready to sing, and go, look at another solo, just so I don't have to sing.
Yeah. Huh. What can we expect from the new album? What direction are you headed? Is it a little bit like this album, or is it?
Well, each one has a little bit of the last record in it. So this has a little bit of the last record in it, but there are a couple things that kind of approach a Curtis Mayfield type of sound.
Oh, cool.
And then another song that's got, got a little bit of Bad Company in it. Mm-hmm. I always look back to look forward. Right. Because all my favorite artists, were great then. And now when I listen to a lot of music, I'd rather listen to the old stuff. I mean,
sure.
I found new appreciation for the first Crosby, Stills, and Nash record, which when it came out, I hated it. It was just like, this is another record for girls. Mm-hmm. Sorry, girls, but I didn't like it. There was no balls to it, you know. And now, because you have to listen to a bunch of other stuff that you hear on the radio, when that song comes on, I go, wow, that's pretty good. That's not bad. I don't know what I was thinking, 25, 30 years ago, but this is really not bad, and that's kind of changed how I do things.
I
want to go back to the shack.
Some of the other tracks I liked on this album, "In the Morning," which was a nice slow groove, but it was a little jazzy there.
Yes.
I could hear your jazz influence on that record, on that track. Miss Carrie was another favorite, and Mr. Blues. How? I mean, what a cool title, huh? You were wailing on the guitar on that one.
Oh yeah, I really like. It's just kind of lopes along. It's calm and I like that stuff.
Yep. Well, you're an awesome guitar player, man. That's for sure.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I try.
In the word of Cubano land, one word sums it up: Coño. Coño, what a guitar player. Our Cuban audience would understand that.
Oh yeah.
I heard a heavy metal band playing, doing some Celia Cruz music.
Really?
Heavy metal. I was wondering, is it possible to incorporate Celia Cruz into maybe your style of music?
It would be a lot easier than if you were a heavy metal band. That's for sure. That's for sure. I mean, I used to listen to Celia Cruz all the time when I was a kid because my mother and sister was, she was a party animal, okay?
Yep.
So the day she died at 104, okay, she partied. I mean, totally partied. I mean, I remember being like 8, 9 years old, and she'd take me to these Cuban parties in Chicago, and, we get there about 5 o'clock, and about 4 o'clock in the morning, we'd go home.
Right.
Okay, I was sleeping on the floor because I couldn't keep up, and but she just totally partied. So she played all that music all the time. My mom didn't do it because my dad didn't get it,
right?
And so we listened to Johnny Mathis,
or Sinatra,
That's what my dad was into. But
sounds like my house. Yeah.
Aunt Anna just partied like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so I heard just tons of really good Cuban music in parties where it's supposed to be heard and everybody's dancing. Okay, that's how I heard most of my Cuban music.
Yeah.
And all the
me
time,
too.
weekly.
Yeah. Yeah, we had Celia Cruz blasting in our house. We had Celia Cruz. Then my dad, he loved Frank Sinatra, so we heard Sinatra a lot. But we also heard a lady called Kasum, who was a very famous Lebanese Arabic. She was the Celia Cruz of Arabia, of the Middle East. And so he was playing that, and I'm locked in my room playing Zeppelin. So it was kind of a very eclectic household.
Well, you got the full gamut.
Yeah,
you understand more about music than anybody else will because you've got every bit of it in your house.
All the cultures. Yeah,
so did
exactly.
you.
So did you.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I know. And that is so cool. I mean, I guess kids today don't get that.
It's
they
a shame.
Get locked up into one thing, and that's it.
It's a shame. It's a real shame.
Because there's something good everywhere. You turn around. There's no bad music. There's only music you don't like.
You know what sucks? Is they have every tool at their disposal. With the phones and YouTube and this and that. I mean, one click and you get Celia Cruz. We never had any of that.
No, but
they should be able to learn, and experience.
You should be, but first you have to. Someone has to tell you.
Right.
Have you heard this? But they're all in the same box, and there's nobody saying, let's step out of this box.
Right.
Let's go check something else out. Where back then, I hate to go say back then, there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, even when there's just AM radio,
right?
You could flip through it and find the Mexican channel. You could find the German channel. It doesn't mean you like it, but to get from point A to point B, you have to pass by all of these things. Now, you just go to the one channel on Sirius, okay, and there's no moving from channel to channel to channel. You just get there, you stay there, it never moves. It rusts in place. So.
Well, even blog radio is awesome. I mean, just go on your computer and you got any music you want on blog radio,
really?
From all over the world. So, you want Cuban heavy metal, you can get it,
I'm sure you can. I remember before there was Sirius and all this stuff, that you just get your computer and just put in radio, and all these crazy channels would pop up for you to search.
Right.
And you had no idea, because it says, hashtag back, squirrel, ... exclamation point. That's all it said. You actually had to click on it to see what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was wild. It was just like, oh, wow, check this out. And I would just bookmark them so I could get back to them. And then you just start from there and you just keep on going. I mean, that's the one great thing about YouTube, when you know how to use it, is that you pick a song or whatever, and then just look on the right side and go find something that's not what that is, and just click on it. And you can go for days finding new stuff.
Well, it's like I
call it
found
the
that
YouTube trap.
I found that Zephyr old Zephyr. It's hard to find Zephyr stuff on YouTube. Especially a live performance. They got a lot of the times they have the music with pictures, but they don't have actually, like a live performance. And,
exactly.
But I found it. I which is
Yeah. I found a few concerts there. Actually, when we did the last record, we did 2 videos, 2 MTV style videos, and they're on there somewhere on YouTube. And they're pretty cool. So Candy's singing, and it's just well, she's lip syncing, of course, but that was her on the original record,
right?
Singing, and those are pretty wild. They came out at the time the movie Tron.
Right,
was
a good movie.
Was out, have that look to them because our managers would go, well, we got to be relevant, kids, and we went, yeah, relevant. Sure, okay, whatever you say, Chuck.
Well, you're on YouTube a lot, and you got some Hendrix stuff on there, which is cool. When Cries Mary. I heard
When Cries Mary.
Yeah, When Cries Mary.
Yeah,
have you just wailed and ever want to do like Machine Gun or Red House?
I have. Red House I would never do because everybody does the song, and why bother?
Right.
But there's a couple I've been working on trying to figure out how to. Well, I figured them out. I'm trying to figure out how to sing it and play it at the same time, and still keep all the nuances. But there are a couple songs on the Electric Ladyland that I really like, and I've just been working on them. And eventually, one day, I'll figure it out.
That'd be awesome. I love the I love when you do a cover and it's a complete different take too. Like I had Mark Stein on the show not long ago from Vanilla Fudge, and they're known for cover tunes, but they do
that was their thing.
Yeah, completely different though the way they do them.
Yeah.
So I like that. I'm also friends with Frank Marino. You remember Mahogany Rush?
Yes, exactly.
Frank did a lot of Hendrix stuff.
He was an amazing guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, totally. I mean, I used to listen to his stuff. You go, wow, how did he do that? How did he do that? But he's got a new. I believe it's the same guy. There's a new record out of him, and it sounds like him. But does he have a record that was just released?
He's supposed to put a live video out. He's been working on for a real long time, but he hurt his hand. But now his hand is better. But we're still waiting. All his fans are going nuts because they want new stuff from him.
He was, that was that Midwest rock.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It was just great. Those guys were amazing. I mean, they learned every lick and then some, and they could play them all, and they could all make sense. They were cool.
Another guy I call a friend that I'd love to see you play with also is Billy Cobham. He's such a great guy. Love Billy.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Love to. We do a killer version of Spectrum.
Oh, awesome.
We do. Awesome. We start the night out with it so that nobody's confused.
Right.
It's a blues band. We want no confusion. What you're about to see in the next couple of hours has absolutely nothing to do with anything except for what I feel like doing.
That's funny.
You don't like it, you can get up and leave now.
Eddie, here's your final question.
Okay.
And I ask everybody the same question. I get a very interesting answer. If you had a Field of Dreams wish, like the movie, to perform, collaborate with anyone from the past or present, who would that be?
Wow. Okay, I'm going to string this together.
Okay.
Jimi Hendrix, Billy Gibbons, Andy Sumner, Wes Montgomery, George Benson, Joey G. Francesco, Jimmy Smith,
Wow.
Robin Ford.
You did that very well. Huh.
That would be, if I could work or perform with, I'd want to perform with all of them at once. And I don't have to play.
You don't have to play. You'll sit in the corner.
Sit there and I get to hold my guitar and just watch all of this wash over me. And just say, this is the best music that anyone could ever possibly hope to hear. And I didn't even mention bass and drums.
Right.
If I had to do bass and drums to add to that mix, I'd add the Tower of Power rhythm section.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep.
World's best band.
Mm. Good band. You did that very well. That's one of the best I've heard.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do it, so I just figured.
I asked Robin Trower, and
Uh-huh.
he said James Brown. But I said, Robin, what about Jimi Hendrix? He said, nah, I'd be ashamed playing with him.
That's
I
true.
couldn't keep up with him.
Right. That's right. But if I had to add a singer, I wouldn't have added James Brown. I would have added Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, Marvin Gaye, yeah. Who was a great
And then
drummer,
we're
too,
done.
by the way. Yeah.
What?
He was a great drummer.
He was?
Marvin Gaye was a
I had
great
no
drummer,
idea.
yes. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
He's D.C. born. He was great. I loved R&B. Being from D.C.,
Uh-huh.
we got a lot of R&B coming from there, and I miss those bands too, like the Ohio players. That with like you said, with the rhythm section, the horn section.
Yeah.
They were just class acts. Great musicians back then. And
they were great.
Earth, Wind and Fire.
That whole thing.
Yeah.
I was at the NAMM show in whatever it was in L.A., close to L.A., whatever that town is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got to hang out with Bootsy Collins.
Oh, wow.
It was just like, I didn't really talk to him because I was in awe, but one of his guitar players, Blackbird, and I became pretty good friends because we both represented Warwick guitars, or famous guitars, for a short while. And I just sit there and was just like, wow, that is the Funkmeister.
That's right.
It was just like, wow, man, that's just way cool. It's just like, amazing stuff.
The great players.
But, there are just way too many incredible musicians just walking the streets.
Yeah.
There
is.
And half of them aren't even I remember being up in Quebec, and we were just like, I met this guy and went to his house on Sunday afternoon for cocktails and dinner and whatever. And, he and his kids picked up their acoustic guitars. And it was like listening to Doyle Dokes, just amazing. And these guys don't consider themselves musicians.
Mm-hmm.
But they blow away most people walking the streets. And so I always say, hey, I had a drummer once that was getting all uppity and crap, and I said, hey, man, don't go there because you never know who you're talking to. Some of these people will pick up your instrument and make you start to cry. They're so good.
That's right.
And they're not musicians.
Exactly.
They drive trucks.
Yep.
So
yeah, I love it when on YouTube I watch the buskers, and then somebody famous comes up, and appreciates the musician and joins them.
Right.
I think that's pretty cool. I think Seal does that a lot, and I've seen Steven Tyler do that a few times too. But those guys are great. There's a lot of street musicians that are incredible.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, what are you going to do? Everybody's out there doing their thing.
Yeah.
Some are fantastic. Some should just stay at home.
Right. But we know one thing for sure, you can get your music out there easier, but, you know, the music is downloaded for free most of the time. You can't sell, you know, it's hard to sell an album nowadays because, you know, there's no record store format.
No.
It's difficult, you know. I mean, it is difficult. People always knock the record companies and all those record execs back in the 60s and 70s, but they made people. I mean, they would drive by a garage and hear guys, you know, playing in the garage, and they would hire them and sign them to a record contract. Today, are there any record companies out there? You know,
yeah,
they're all independents. You know, most of them.
And what are they doing?
Yeah,
the record
what are they
companies that
doing?
are out there, they're playing stuff that you wouldn't listen to on a bet. But there are enough people that do because, you know, they're still in business and they're making money because otherwise they wouldn't do it anymore.
Right,
I mean, they're in the business of making money. And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, I get that. But, you know, I kind of like the old way, too, where, you know, if they didn't think you were any good, you didn't get a deal, goodbye, go home, come back with your things. You know, you don't get nothing. You know, and was it tough? Yeah, it was, but it weeded out a lot of stuff.
Well, my job is to keep good music alive. That's this, you know, I've
to keep it accessible.
You know, thousands of guys, you know, no compensation, and you know, all I hope is to keep the good music alive because, you know, that's what kept me alive all these years. It really is.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
It's I'm letting my painter into the house.
I got a plumber over here.
Yes,
we're on the
indeed.
same page.
Yeah, exactly. Both doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And neither of us are in California.
What kind of dog do you got?
I have a little fox terrier.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know, I have a little wussy dog.
Yep.
But I love her. She's a good dog.
Yep.
She's great.
Yeah, I'm a big animal lover.
Yeah.
Anything else you got? You want to promote? We got the new album coming out. We're waiting for that. We're excited about that. You're on tour.
I'm on tour.
I don't know if you're going to have any more European dates. I guess you'll work on it.
We're always, you know, always on tour all the time unless no one really wants me in their club.
You have to, I guess. Yeah. You have
exactly.
You have to be live.
Exactly.
You have to be live.
And you can get Naked in Your Face is on CD Baby. On
CD Baby, okay.
Yes, you can just go right there and download it or order the record. Hard copy.
I think it's on. Is it on Amazon also? Isn't it?
I think it's everywhere. I know it's on iTunes.
Right.
It's available everywhere.
Okay.
The checks are small, but the sound is great.
Right. Right. Well, if I can help you in any way, you let me know. And if you're looking for dates,
I certainly will.
If you're looking for dates,
stay in touch.
And if you look for dates in Tampa Bay, I can help you with a couple of venues around here. You know, because I know a lot of people. Yep.
Because I need a couple more venues right around that time period.
Yep. You definitely need to do the Tampa or Clearwater area and Miami. You know.
Yeah. Well, I will call you back on your phone.
Yeah.
And we can talk about it.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Okay.
You're like family to me.
Well, hey, cool, man. Yes, indeed. We both have the parts of the same gene pool.
Yeah, we do. We do, man. Eddie, take care, man. Thank you so much for being on the show and all your great music. We'll keep in contact, and go take care of the painter.
I certainly will. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks again for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, Eddie. Take care, man.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. For more information about Eddie Devilboy Turner, visit www.eddiedevilboy.com or www.facebook.com/Eddie Turner Trouble Twins. Purchase the latest album by Eddie Turner and Trouble Twins entitled Naked in Your Face, the live album, available on CD Baby and I believe also on Amazon.com. Also, Eddie Turner and Trouble Twins, Miracles and Demons, my favorite album, which I gave 5 stars. I also give 5 stars to Naked in Your Face. Miracles and Demons is also available at Amazon.com. Very special thanks to Trace Keene for arranging this interview with Eddie Turner. And, of course, the dynamic duo of Doug and Don Newsom of BBS Radio for making the magic happen for each and every broadcast of The Ray Shasho Show. If you have comments, suggestions for the show, contact me at therayshashoshow@gmail.com. Don't forget to purchase a copy of my book. You'll love it. Entitled Check the G's, The True Story of an Eclectic American Family and Their Wacky Family Business. Available now at iUniverse.com and Amazon.com. I promise you will live it. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Ray Shasho Show, brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency. Call 941-877-1552 or visit us at publicityworksagency.com, specializing in author and music artist publicity plans. We shine when we make you shine. Join Ray Shasho every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern on PBS Radio, Station 1.